So do you like ponies? Welcome to the reveal or the first look at Galarian Ponyta, Galarian Rapidash, Galarian Yamask, and Reniragus. Now, if you love ponies, I have to tell you one thing. If you were waiting for this cute and adorable thing that really came out in a video... No, seriously, if you watched when Sword and Shield first came out, this was in a 24-hour video, early release, early reveal, and you literally saw Galarian Ponyta, like, in the middle. And it's like, what? What? So Galarian Ponyta and Galarian Rapidash are actually pretty interesting for Go Battle League. So at first look, these things are really good. If you look at its stats, we don't know what the evolution field's gonna be, but it costs 50 Ponyta candy, and it has a very interesting moveset. Great move pool, really interesting stats. I can't really confidently tell you like if it's okay. It's okay just because like it's okay. It's not gonna really break the meta just because of its moveset. Like Psycho Cut, its lack of like a stab move that's not like it's a lack of like a great stab move for like its charge move pool makes it kind of limited, but it's still really good. And that's Galarian Rapidash. As I said, really pretty. We don't know what the field research is going to be for it, but the first look is that Galarian Rapidash is going to actually be really interesting for this meta. We'll go over exactly what these things' typings are, like where exactly do they rank. Alright, so I can't use GoHub because GoHub actually doesn't have Galarian Ponyta, Reniragus, or like Galarian Yamask in the database. So we're literally just gonna use Cerebri, and we'll go from there. Okay, so Galarian Ponyta and Galarian Rapidash, both of these mons are an interesting type. It's Fairy / Psychic. Hold on, let me go down here. Hold on. Actually, just do Galarian. Yeah. So it's Psychic / Fairy. So the evolved form. So it's regular Fairy if it's a Ponyta. Galarian Rapidash is actually Fairy / Psychic. I'm sorry, okay? I played Sword and Shield, but you know what? I don't know. I think this is only in Sword, so I can't actually get it in Shield. You know, there's only like, you know, each generation has different mons you can get. Because of that, I've actually never caught one of these things and used it, so I don't really know too much about it. But as you see here on the top right, it's a Fairy / Psychic. Regular Ponyta has a Fairy. So they're really interesting because that's a really interesting typing. Psychic / Fairy, that basically means fighting does like nothing. Not really nothing, but that means it's very interesting. As you see here, its weaknesses, it's really weird, to be honest. It's like super weird. It's like really weird. Now, with Psychic and Fairy, that means Dark types don't affect you. Neutral damage against Dark types. You do pick neutral damage against Dark types, and it's very interesting. So you take double damage against Poison, you take half damage against Psychic, you take double the damage against Ghost. It basically flips a lot of things around. If you look at the bottom, I'll do more of an analysis on this, but Fairy and Psychic is just a really interesting typing. As you see, the weaknesses, it does pick up more weaknesses. However, you like double resist fighting. So if you like pseudo counter users and you see one of these things in your face, you probably want to either one switch out or you're doomed. Alright, unfortunately, Galarian Yamask is the exact opposite. All because of one simple reason. Not only is it really difficult to actually, like, you have to do 10 raid battles, you have to finish the Reniragus quest. Along with that, it has great stats. Here's the giant problem. Do you see those fast moves? No, not those. Just one. It has Astonish. Astonish is such a godforsakingly bad move that it literally automatically turns Reniragus into, like, garbage. instead of giving it that really menacing look, you should just put a trash can on it, because literally that's what it is. It's absolute trash without a viable fast move. And I think that's what's sad about a lot of like potential things in Pokemon Go, is literally when they get released, because they have a bad move pool, that's what makes it really bad. If you literally just gave Reniergus Shadow Claw, it'd be so good. Imagine like Reniergus with Sandtomb and Shadow Ball with Shadow Claw, it would be like scary, especially with that high defense stat. It would be a tank. It would be able to tear through other defenses with Sandtomb, and Shadow Ball would just be nuts. But anyways, it's just really expensive and not really worth it for PvP, to be honest with you. Alright, so Galarian Yamask doesn't look too much better. It's a ghost/ground type. I have no idea why, like... Okay, it's weird typing, okay? So, Galarian Yamask is ground ghost, which is basically the same as... What's that? I know there's another ghost/ground type. It's like literally on the top of my head, but I don't remember. Anyways, it's that blue golem thingy that's that blue golem thingy that you hatch from eggs. You can never find in the wild. It's like a ghost golem. I totally forgot, okay? You can tell I don't use it enough to actually care about it. Anyways, Galarian Yamask is a ground/ghost type. Now, because of that, it's actually really interesting, because with this, it actually picks up... Dual types always pick up more weaknesses, or they pick up neutral damage. In this case, if you look at the comparison, with the Galarian form, you do take double water damage, you also take grass damage, poison damage is cut into 25%, and you also cut rock damage in half. It's really a really interesting moveset. The thing about ghost types is that the only thing ghosts are weak against is ghost itself. That's why it is weak ×2. And it's kind of interesting because Reniergus does, like I said before when we did the analysis for the Pokeminers, when we looked into it, it's going to cost 10 raids, so it's really expensive. Like I mentioned, Astonish is a really bad move, and we will go over that in the summary. The first looks, yeah, like Galarian Yamask isn't great. Reniergus isn't great either, just because of its moveset. If it had Shadow Claw, it'd be really good. But like I said, we'll go over that over the technical summary, just to tell you, like, show you just how good Reniergus is, and how, like, Reniergus and Ponyta, just how they are in the meta, or potentially. Alright, so the rating I would give for this event, or like this release, is probably a 4 out of 10. Galarian Yamask sucks, okay? I can't sell you Reniergus even if I like rose it from the dead, just because it's that bad. Look at how bad it is. 554. It does pick up some interesting moves. It's just Astonish is a really bad move. If this thing had Shadow Claw, Sandtomb, Shadow Ball would be absolutely nuts. Now, other than those of you that really hoped Reniergus, that's what it's called. My friend roasted me this morning about not being able to pronounce tonight, so it's called Reniergus. Compared to Reniergus, Galarian Ponyta actually, Galarian Rapidash, not Ponyta. Galarian Rapidash actually has interest. It's not super powerful, it's interesting. As you see, Psycho Cut, like we mentioned, Psycho Cut is a really interesting moveset with Body Slam Play Rough, because it generates energy quickly, and in a certain cup, it can be really effective. As you see though in Go Battle League, it really doesn't stand too much of a chance. Losing against Azu, Skarmory, G-Fisk, you lose against the entire BB. You lose against very large BBM, like very common BBL cores. Now you do beat things like Deoxys Defense, Toxicroak, Swampert. So like I mentioned, Psychic and Fairy is really interesting, and counter fighting damage doesn't do much. That's why you have such a strong matchup. In certain teams, Galarian Rapidash can actually be really effective, but the reason it's still a 4 out of 10 is literally because Galarian Rapidash carries the rating for this video. It has a lot of potential. Being able to beat Galvantula and Altaria makes it really interesting. And like I said, because of its dual, the way its unique typing, dual type pseudo fighters and fighters are like essentially negated. So I wouldn't, if you want to go after Ponyta, like that's probably the only thing. Unfortunately, this is the one reason why Reniergus is so bad. If you look at Astonish, Astonish is a horrible move. A 3-turn move that generates 9 energy. You want to know what else is a 3-turn move? Bubble. Bubble, you know what else is a 3-turn move? Snarl. You see just the difference, like, between energy? Like, Astonish is just a really bad move. It can still work, but the keyword is, the reason why Gordonirigus is so bad is because Astonish is a bad move, unfortunately. I'll do a deeper analysis if requested, but for now, we're just going to leave it as it is. 4 out of 10. Get your Galarian Ponytas if you really like My Little Pony, or if you like that thing, is actually really cute. So if you want it, go for it. If you want Renirigus, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It sucks. You guys have a wonderful day.